Hey guys, welcome to That Fat Vegan. Today is going to be a pretty personal story. I was going to do one other personal story, but now I'm doing this one. Last week I got drunk with my dad. So if you don't know, my dad just recently got out of the hospital. But before that, he wasn't really like feeling that great, obviously, but he told me like one day before I was going to work, we're hanging out and, you know, I'm checking in on him and seeing if he like needs anything. And he's like almost in tears talking about how he has a pot in the living room and he, can't really get around and why did this happen to him? And he was like very depressed. And he talked about wanting to have some Southern Comfort. So the next day I was off and I got Southern Comfort, a little bottle, like a pint of Jameson, and then some beer because I'm like a whiskey and beer person. And in my mind, I could rationalize it because it was my dad that wanted to drink. And he doesn't ever really drink anymore. And that gave me an excuse to be able to drink as well. And it was awful. It was like the only way that I knew that he could kind of open up to me and I could kind of open up to him is if we were both drinking. And I kind of feel like it's been like that with him like forever, but it started to trickle over to my mom as well. So we were hanging out and drinking and I just kept thinking about the past, you know, like, why am I doing this? Why, you know, out of all the things that he has done to hurt me in my life, which was all pretty much a result of him being drunk all the time, am I drinking with him? I don't know. I mean, at this point, you know, I've been through enough therapy to know, like, what's wrong with me. But I guess it was just, like, a bonding moment in a fucked up way for me to feel like he cared about me, you know? Because he's usually pretty miserable, and I don't really feel like he cares about me that much. Although there are times when he seems to care more about me than my mom, so there are some issues with that too. I don't want to get off track. I mean, you're just going to be hearing a lot about my messed up relationship with him. But, while we were sitting there drinking, he was telling me about, you know, how sad he was and everything. But at the same time, he doesn't do anything to help himself. He's seriously overweight. He never followed through with like physical therapy. He eats like a bag of popcorn in a day. That's it. Like, not like as a snack. I mean, that's just his food, you know? So he doesn't eat well, you know, he doesn't follow up with the doctors, he doesn't want the nurses to come. So this time it's going to be interesting to see if he like follows through with everything now that he's out of the hospital. He was in there for congestive heart failure and they were treating him for pneumonia as well. So, you know, it just made me feel really bad that I don't have a normal dad. I never did. He would come to our school functions drunk, screaming, yelling, you know, yeah, you know, at talent shows. And it was just so embarrassing all the time. And I don't remember any time that he came to anything sober. He was just a total embarrassment all of the time. And I didn't really have any type of relationship with him other than helping him off the floor if he had too much vodka or, you know, something like that. Sometimes he would, like when I was young, he would get drunk and tell me about his mom and his dad and like cry about stuff, like he was confiding in me. And at that young of an age, so I'm already set up to be messed up because of everything that happened to me so early on. And so I never had that, like, a dad, you know what he'll say to me as a compliment? Your tits look nice today. Like, what? Like, one time I remember I was getting ready to leave with Bob, or I was watching my grandmother. I don't know, one of those things. This is when he didn't need the walker, and it was about like 4 years ago or something, and I had got this new bra, and it really did make my boobs sort of like look very nice. And I remember helping, I think they came home from the store or something, him and my mom, and I went out to help with the bags, and he's like, whoa, where'd you get those tits from? That's the kind of shit that he would say to me. sickening, you know what I mean? And it's just, and that's probably where I become uncomfortable to talk to him about things, and that creates like this really weird dynamic between us. And it has, and you know, I have so much empathy for him, for everybody, you know, in my life, that I put myself into situations because I feel like they're worth more than I am. And there's a way to be a little bit selfish in a good way and take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. But the weight of everything recently has just been a lot. And when he wanted to drink that day, and he didn't tell me to go and get him anything, he had just mentioned it, and that was enough for me to trigger me to be like, okay, let's do this, you know. Next day, come surprise him and stuff. And it's just, oh, it's awful, you know, because it feeds into my own disease. And I know a lot of people don't understand addictions, you know, and stuff. And I get it, especially if you're not familiar with it, as far as you having an issue or knowing someone that has. But it's hard. It's definitely a choice that you have to make every single day to not do whatever you are addicted to. In my case, alcohol. Even right now, talking about alcohol, I want to drink. I haven't drank since then, but I want to, you know. And it's just, I rationalized making this a bonding moment between me and my dad with alcohol, you know. And I don't think anything will ever change in that dynamic. And there's a part of me that feels like I should just not talk to him, and try to weed out some of the more toxic type of like relationships in my life. But I don't know how to do that, you know. I meet my new psychiatrist in 2 weeks, so maybe he'll be helpful. But my anxiety has been incredibly bad. I've just been feeling very low, you know, and the last thing that I needed to do was get drunk with him. And it was like I didn't know, like I wanted to hang out with him, like I knew he would talk more if he would be drinking. Almost like I said, like we would have like some hanging out like time, you know, which is awful. So I'm not very proud of that, you know. So I have only been sober again for like, went in the hospital, so like 5 days or something. It's like I have to start the process over and over and over again. And it's so easy for me to kind of justify, you know, when I'm drinking and stuff. And so, it was really awful. You know, it's hard when you are an adult, but, you've never had like a good childhood or good parents or had any type of like moral compass or guidance, you know, in life. Like just being ignored or just getting attention when they want something from you or for you to do something for them, you know. And so I'm trying to get healthier, which is why I have this channel to just put everything out there. And if you feel like listening to me, then that's awesome. It is therapeutic in a way. It just is bringing up like so many other things that I know that I want to talk about. So I'm sorry I get off track. But it's awful because I still feel sometimes like I'm some little girl, you know, that's like lost and just kind of forgotten about. And the fact that even at this age that I have to, I mean, and he wouldn't really hang out or talk to me anyway if I hadn't, but the only way to feel like I mattered for a little moment was to get drunk. So I am not proud of that. It fucked with my sobriety. And so I'm only 5 days sober right now. And let me tell you, after talking about this, it seems like it would help. And it does help a bit, but it also makes me want to drink because I'm feeling all of the things that I don't want to feel, you know? So before I just break down here, I'm gonna go. I will hopefully have some type of I don't know. I have plans with this channel to do, you know, recipes and healthy eating stuff and like following my progress. But I can't really plan out this like I do with my other channel because I want it to be more like raw and like this is what I feel like talking about today, you know. Some days I might want to do a recipe, some days something like this may happen and I might want to talk about it. So I don't know, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you feel like it, and thank you for watching. Love and hugs. Bye.